You know, sometimes when it rains foldable phone news, it pours foldable phone news. In this video, we're going to talk about some leaks about two more folding phones, kind of three more, to be honest with you. The Oppo Find N3, which might also basically be the OnePlus V Fold, and also the Xiaomi Mix Fold 3, because they all kind of have bits of news that are kind of similar to one another breaking as we speak. So the first thing we will look at here is this image, which is being passed around as a schematic for the Oppo Find N3. And if you look at this, it's a fairly believable design. We have our Hasselblad logo there on the side of this circular camera bump. A hole punch selfie camera there on the cover display. Not sure what that is meant to be there on the side. Volume rocker, power button, perhaps an alert slider over there on the side, which would be very, very cool to see. But the big thing that my eye was drawn to was this square rectangle, perhaps, inside that circle that appears to be a periscope telephoto lens. This would be a very, very cool thing to see in more and more foldables, and it appears as though if this is accurate, Oppo is going that route as well. Now, we don't know much in terms of the specs for the Find N3, but if we look at the specs of the Find N2, I think you could probably draw a lot of conclusions from that. Probably keeping 12 gigs of RAM, somewhere around the same battery, Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, but increasing in terms of the camera performance, going from what we had before, which was a pretty simple 2x telephoto zoom, up to a true telephoto zoom would be a pretty big improvement. Now, like I said, there's another piece of this particular thing, which is that OnePlus has now publicly stated that a foldable phone is in fact coming in Q3. The big deal there is that OnePlus actually ships their phones in America. And, of course, Oppo and OnePlus share a parent company, and they do share designs a lot of the time. So we are calling this the Oppo Find N3, but the OnePlus V Fold, which is apparently going to be the name of this device according to some trademarks that were filed, probably could look probably could look. That's not really saying anything, is it? It very likely is going to look something like this. It would be very probable for it to look something like this as well, and to share that sort of specification in terms of the camera setup. And again, coming in Q3, won't have to wait too much longer for a full announcement. Though, moving on to another phone, the Xiaomi Mix Fold 3 digital chat station on Weibo had this post. This is being translated from Chinese to English. There is some weird stuff going on here, but there's still some good information to find. I will be straight up with you. I don't understand what he's meaning on some of this. I'm a little bit confused with some of this. I'm just going to leave out and speculate in the comments. We do see a 4,800 milliamp hour battery, which is larger than we have in something like the Z Fold 4 by about 400. Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 is also good to see. He clarifies below here, lightweight, periscope, wireless charging, etc. This was answering what else is there besides thinness. So, periscope camera coming to the Mix Fold 3 as well. And then another bit here that he mentions, there is a waterproof design, doesn't have the level, and of course has to go through the testing to get the IP rating, but it will apparently be waterproof as well, which is a good thing as well. A lot of these companies have had phones that fold totally flat, have creases that are hard to see, but they're not waterproof. Samsung has long gone the other direction, foregoing the folding flat, having a crease that's more visible, but doing this in order for their phone to remain waterproof. So evidently Xiaomi has figured out how to do both, just like Samsung has, just like Google has. For a long time, people have complained that folding phones, while cool, are very, very expensive. And at that price, they should have all of the things that the true flagship phones have. They should have all the best cameras, and I can understand where they're coming from. And it finally feels like the day of folding phones having an inferior camera to the flagship phones on the market may finally be coming to an end, because now not only are they able to pack in a very large hinge, but apparently periscope telephoto zooms up to, 5x zoom, optically done, are coming to these foldable phones. I just told you guys about the Pixel Fold doing this, the Oppo Find N3 very likely, the OnePlus V Fold, and now the Xiaomi Mi Mix Fold 3. Samsung, whatever you got. If Samsung shows up with a 3x telephoto, doesn't have a periscope, not going to do 5x, it's not going to look so good, Samsung. So it's going to be really interesting to see what Samsung does on that front. Not a whole lot in ways of leaks in that direction just yet, but when that happens, I'm going to bring that information to you as quick as anybody on planet Earth. So subscribe so you don't miss out on that content. I will see you on the next one. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.